So is this the project that I shortlisted for this year's Blockbuster launch? So all of us know that what is going to happen in the next 1 to 2 months is going to be a repeat of what happened last year during the November 2024 period, where there are multiple launches coming back to back at the same time, and now we're experiencing it at the same time again. So are you ready to actually go through if this project is my top choice for this year? And if today you are also looking into buying a property, have you actually done your enough research and sums? So if not, you can always subscribe to this channel as well as follow through me on all the videos that I'm going to share with you, because I will be guiding you through the entire process of how property is going to be done, not just by guessing, but also at the same time using data, research, and analyze your position in the marketplace. So today I'm going to kind of cover a little bit onto the current launches that's going to coming up, and it's going to be a blockbuster because everybody is going to be launching at the same time. But the question is, are you choosing the right property for your own choice? Are you chasing the launches, or are you deciding on what project that is the best for you in your position? So today we're going to go through a little bit more in detail, so follow through all the way to the end, because at the end of the session, I'll also be sharing with you if you are competing and you're chasing after some of all these launches, what are the key mistakes and traps that you must prevent yourself from falling so that you can actually choose the correct property type in the end. All right. So today I'm going to kind of touch about Skye at Holland, and is this going to be the last CCR project? And is this going to be 90% sold at the same time? Because we're going to dive in everything about the numbers as we move forward in this video. So stay tuned all the way to the end so that you can actually understand how Skye at Holland actually pans out, and also if this is my top choice in terms of numbers. All right, so today we are going to kind of give you a quick overview that, So today, one of the key things that you must also realize that besides Skye at Holland, previously, the RiverGreen was also doing a very good launch where they actually sold about 88%, which on average about $3,130 per square foot on average, as well as Promenade Peak, they move about 54% at the same time. So during that time, there were these 3 launches, right? But coming up with Skye at Holland, we're talking about a few couple of other projects that is also going to be launched. So is Skye at Holland going to be performing like RiverGreen with 88% or even more? So will you get a chance with Skye? Okay, with the massive attention on Skye at Holland, a lot of people are saying that this is going to be the last plot CCR, and later on when we dive into the numbers, you see why we are getting so much attention. A lot of clients are reaching out to us to really kind of evaluate if Skye at Holland is really ideal for them, or could there be other comparison of projects or alternatives that they can actually go for. And this is how we guide you through in terms of the property journey. So to give you a quick overview, right, today we are talking about 6 launches, okay, upcoming in the September-October period. And with Skye at Holland, of course, the first one will be launching about 11 October. And right now, we are already getting a lot of inquiries coming in that they wanted to us to actually guide them through in terms of the property tour, to see the show flat. And so if, let's say today, you are already exploring Skye at Holland and you kind of undecided whether is this the ideal project for you, and you wanted some insights of how your position in the marketplace is going to pan out for the next 5 to 10 years, then you can actually scan the QR code and reach out to us and let us do an evaluation with you to understand what's the position you want to be in the marketplace, and how long do you actually intend to hold on to this property for the next couple of years, because that will also affect your exit strategy in time to come. So besides Skye at Holland being the first to launch, we also have Penrith. All right, Penrith is as well is at Margaret Drive, is also getting a lot of attention, and the launches will be also back to back about on the 18th of October. So some of all these dates that I put out is more of an estimates. So in order for you to get the latest updated dates from developers, just reach out to us, send us the WhatsApp messages so that we can keep you informed when there's any updates, when there's any new materials that could be helping you to make a better decision. All right, then followed by, we have also our Faber Residences, which is a very interesting low-rise development in the Clementi area. They'll be launching on the 18th of October. Then, of course, the Mega Zion Grand. I think a lot of people are also looking at that. They'll be launching either 25th October or 1st November, which is why we are not having more details, and we will actually cover this a little bit more later. And the Sept, okay, the Sept will be launching also within the 1st or 8th November. And the Sept is actually a beauty world area, Bukit Timah, Bukit Batu area. And of course, last but not least, we're talking about the Costa Canberra EC. So these are the 6 launches that's going to come out very soon. And I want to give you a quick overview. Because if let's say today you're looking at Skye Holland, I believe you will also do some comparison with the rest of the projects that is upcoming, just to give some weightage of what is happening. So this is what we have kind of do an estimation. So again, disclaimer, these are all estimated prices that we kind of did our own research on. So take this with a pinch of salt, okay? Any details of the pricing will still be released by the developer, and at this current moment, everything is just an estimate. So we're talking about Skye Holland with 666 units, all right? Based on their land cost, we kind of roughly calculate the estimate should be about 2,008 to 3,003 in terms of per square foot, as well as Penrith in Margaret Drive, 460 units, about 2,006 to 3,000 per square foot. Faber Residences, about 399 units, about $2,300 per square foot. So the pricing is very attractive. Zion Grand at 740 units, 2,700 to 3,003 per square foot, and which is Zion Grand is also an integrated development. And the Sept at about 347 units, low-rise development with $2,003 to $2,400 per square foot. Okay, so the key thing is that today with so many different launches out, right, I think there will be some confusions in the marketplace that you may be kind of confused about, like which are the type of properties that is ideal for you and how long do you intend to actually hold on to those properties. So this is the part where you really want to kind of sit down and work with us together one-on-one to kind of plan out your entire property journey and how are you intending to enter or even exit into the marketplace. All right. So with this pricing, you can see that the competition is actually very strong, and I believe a lot of these projects will be very well taken up as well. First of all, because of the entire climate of the economy is already adjusted by itself, and this is also giving the developers the confidence. That's why they want to launch all these things way ahead. And let's say if today you are kind of looking into the details of each project and you wanted to kind of have a little bit more insights, I'll be doing a next video, all right, that I will be comparing all these 5 projects in depth, all right. I'll be going to pit each of them against each other so that you can actually sit back and just watch through the video to kind of pinpoint which development is ideal for you in your own property journey. But if let's say you are really already wanted to kind of, I really need to know what's out there for me, then you can actually help us by just scanning the QR code, and we will actually get in touch with you and let us run through this journey without wasting time. And potentially there could also be other projects currently in the marketplace that you may have missed out that could suit you better. All right, so why not explore the alternatives and seek a second opinion before you move forward? Because moving forward, there's so many different projects out there. Some of you may be also thinking, it's okay lah, if my ballot number is no good, I want to wait for the next one, and you keep waiting and waiting and waiting. So this is what I mean by chasing new launches, okay? Our role here shouldn't, when you're entering the property market, shouldn't be chasing after new launch after new launch. You should be deciding which new launch is the one that you should be going for, that you can capitalize for your property growth. All right, so there are multiple projects that is also up and coming. All right, so these are all already been sold in terms of GLS land. You can see that we have Media Circle, we have Holland, we have Dunman, we have Bayshore, Chuan Grove. So there are multiple plot of lands. If you ask me, they'll be launching also in 2026, the entire year. So you are not limited with choices actually. But of course, with too many choices, it will also confuse you with deciding what is the best for you. And this is the reason why you are actually following through this channel, so that we can actually guide you through the decision making properly. So if you have followed my previous video that I touched on for Skye Holland, right, I also talked about the support logic, and I just want to do some recap of what we have covered. All right, so based on the support logic one, we actually covered in terms of how Skye Holland is being placed, and the position being in the GCB zone, you are kind of unblocked if you are going for the higher floor units on the outward facing. Okay, on outward facing. So from a view perspective, that's why they call it Skye Holland, right? You're on top of the sky, and typically the surrounding of you are all low rise. which makes it very interesting because a lot of times when we are looking into properties, right, we are kind of very concerned. Oh, today if I buy a property, will the block in front of me started to build something? Even though there may be an empty land in front of you, yes, based on master plan, it could change. So sometimes when we are buying a view or a high floor for the view, in the next couple of years, it will be your neighbor's view. Okay, so this is something that for high floor units, sometimes there will be this concerning factor. But for Skye or Holland, the interesting part, because you're surrounded by all the low-rise properties, right? At least for this entire area, okay, the moment you cross the 10th, 15th floor, you're going to get magnificent kind of view. And you can actually watch my previous video that I actually touched on a little bit more in details about the view and some of the other support logics that I cover. All right, so this is some of a summary just to give you also the summary for Skye Holland. This is District 10 property. All right, we are talking about leasehold, and it also have all the basic community space as well as facilities being covered. So 666 units in total, and the breakdown for the number of units are as follows. All right, so it ranging from 2-bedroom all the way to 5-bedroom unit types. And I believe based on the guideline of how they are doing for this, they have placed significant numbers also on the 3, 4, and 5-bedroom types. So generally, a lot of the 4 bedrooms or even the 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms premium and the 5 bedrooms are generally lesser numbers. But in this situation, I believe what the developer is trying to also draw in as the entire Holland, the One North area is being transformed, is to really capture more families and turn this entire area into a more family-oriented location. So no doubt they will still have the basic 2 bedrooms and the 2+ studies, and those are really just purely for a rental arrangement. So if you want to see how, if let's say you are buying for investment and you are thinking whether buying a 2-bedroom doesn't make sense in the Holland Village area, then you can actually watch my other previous video that I also did, that I actually share with you that the rental demand for the One Holland Village residences is extremely strong. But with this Skye Holland coming out, will it become a competition for you? That is something that I shared in the video that you can go and watch later on after this video. Okay, yeah, so with this breakdown, I believe that the developer has actually put a lot of thought to this. So if today you are already kind of waiting and you wanted to have the VIP kind of approach with us guiding you and bringing you down, and not just about seeing the show flats, but really to kind of walk through with you what are the process that you should be looking out for in the balloting process, what are the things that you should take note of when you're considering a property. You can also scan the QR code and reach out to us and says that, hey, you want a private tour by me and my team, and we'll be able to actually assist you on how you should be selecting the right property, the right size, the right facing, the right unit, as well as the right price. Okay. The second logic that I also shared in my previous video, this is where you can actually watch the other video, and I want to go straight into logic number 3. The support logic number 3 is very important because this is where we will cover the numbers, okay, to do some comparison on numbers, and this will give us a good indication. So I think in my videos I shared multiple times that today, if let's say you are buying property just purely based on guessing or based on your own thought process, like, oh, I think this works, and you just purchase, then you may be losing out to capitalize and optimize your property purchase. So one of the strategy we always adopt is that you need to have data and numbers to support some of the decision making you're going to go. We are not saying that you are wrong. We're not saying that whatever you want or you need in your property is incorrect. But what if you have a set of new criteria, a new set of layers of pinpoint areas that you should take note of by and looking at the numbers to support your decision? Will you feel safer in your purchase? And this is the reason why we do so much in our research as well as in our video at the same time. All right, so of course, Skye Holland, we are all surrounded by GCBs, and this one you can actually go to URA master plan to take a look on how the configuration is. But I think one of the more key things that I want to share with you is that why surrounded by GCBs are, what does it mean? You know, also you are near to the ultra rich, but you also don't have access But for you to be near GCB area, right, do you find that you also get that kind of prestige kind of environment and the people that's going around the area, or somehow you just are in a more prime location? Because with a low density of GCB, right, it means that there's always a cap in terms of the numbers of high-rise properties that they can put into this location. So with Skye Holland being one of the last plot in that area that they can do high-rise, right, because there's really a limited number of land available for building condominiums. Okay, so a lot of them are all the landed properties, GCBs. That's why they can't magically overnight just turn those GCB properties into a mixed development or even a private property condominium or even HDBs. It's unlikely that will happen. So that's why today, if you have a choice or you have a chance in terms of timing, in terms of your affordability, you have just nice, you just sold your property and the timing just matches, then this could be something that you really want to consider to explore and see whether is Skye Holland something that fits into your property portfolio at the same time. And one of the key things why I want to share this with you is because the entire condominium supply in the Skye Holland area within 500 meters is very limited. And we are only talking about 9 projects. Okay, 9 projects on an average for a 500 meters radius that we have done. Okay, total number 9 projects and only 742 units. So in a Holland area, we're talking about a very high demand location, not only just for the availability of Holland Village, where it's a lifestyle hub, right? And with One Holland Village Residences just came out with all the amenities and all the facilities, it actually drives a different market and demand into this place. And moreover, when you're in Holland, you're also very close to where One North is, where One North is undergoing a huge transformation over the next 10 years. Then that is also somewhere that it will spill over to Holland Village. You want a little bit more urban vibrancy, hey, you have One North. But if you want a little bit more of a laid-back, chill kind of location, hey, Holland Village is just within a few minutes away. So that's why this location for Skye Holland is prime areas. And surrounding, if you look at all the 9 projects nearby, later we will cover a little bit more in depth. These are only the 9, and we're talking about just 500 meters. And 742 is a very low number in terms of supply. So we all understand that in basic economics, when there's a low supply, what happens to price, okay, over time, and especially if there's limited land plots that is available for government to sell. Okay, so this is where we will determine whether where you are going in, is it a growth location or not? Because only growth location then makes sense in our pockets, right? That means the amount that the value that we go in, we can see our value increase over time. And that is one of the main criteria we always look out for whenever we look at the property to actually enter in, so that we can exit easier. So if we open up and kind of increase the capacity just to look at the entire 1 km radius, right? You can see that there are only total how many? 27 projects in total. Hey, 27 for a Holland area, very limited, very little supply. And we are talking about 25 new properties and 2 new projects only. And of course, 2 new projects later on, I'll cover a little bit. And if I just kind of give you a glimpse of a lot of the 27 projects out there, majority of them are much older. Okay, and the only younger one, if you ask me, is of course One Holland Village, which is the youngest in that location. And the rest of it are also already past a certain age group. All right, so with the full detail, if you really want to do a deep dive comparison of how Skye Holland pans out to the other prices and other projects in terms of location, in terms of prices, in terms of the layout and the size of the units, then you can actually reach out to us and we will do a full comparison for you guys. You guys can come and comment inside the comment section. Just type in layouts, okay? Then I will also help you to actually do some comparison between some of the layouts. Maybe you are also looking at some other projects. Then we can actually help you to determine if this layout fits into what you are looking out for and whether this layout can be easily sold in future. All right, so I think that is very important. So with the low supply in this 1 km, and most of them are much older than what you have, that's where you gain an advantage in terms of what? In terms of your positioning. because as the economy changes, buyers' behavior change. A lot of the next generations are also looking out for the lifestyle, the YOLO effect, that, oh, today I really want, why are they going for a newer property? Because they just want to enjoy their lifestyle, correct? So if we dig deeper, right, so of course the two projects that is within 1 km that is new, we're talking about here in One North as well as Bloomsbury. So for One North area, we're definitely looking into a more dynamic kind of setup. Okay, it is a very unique configuration with a lot of offices and commercial element plus residential, and the supply in the One North area is also very limited, and that's also the reason why recent years, I believe the government is trying to see how they can inject more livability into One North. And with Skye Holland and One North being so closely, the question, if you have been considering Skye One North, have you actually explored the other locations where they are also close by, and if they make sense in for your purchase as well? All right, so this is where you need to do more comparison, more research into this. So one of the other thing that you also need to take note that in the Holland area, because majority of the properties, okay, are all freehold, and only this range are the leasehold properties that are within the 1 km away. All right, so if you're talking about just anything that is closer, is of course One Holland Village Residences, which is the leasehold property. So this is something that you also need to take note of. And why is this important? Because periodically, if let's say you go to a location where there's a lot of freehold properties and you are just at 1 or 2 leasehold properties, will you see it as a huge advantage or a disadvantage? So this is where you need to understand the dynamics also from the audience base, the clientele there, who is going to buy from you in future. And that's where we will dive in more research. Because I believe a lot of homeowners, they make the mistake of when the narrative in the market is like, oh, there's a leasehold property, you should just buy leasehold property because it makes money. All right, there's this narrative in the marketplace right now, right? But is that really true that all leasehold properties grow in value? Okay, and why is it that we are only talking about a freehold property cannot grow in value? So I think that is a blanket statement. I believe it's very unfair. Okay, it's very unfair to use that as a benchmarking because every location, every sector in a location can be very different in terms of how the entire properties are being performing. So I never like to blanket statement whether freehold, leasehold are good, but a lot of times the research and the data are able to guide us along on how each area type of property is performing. So for example, in Skye Holland, majority of them, there's only how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 6 projects out of, just now we were saying how many? 27 projects. The rest 11 projects are all what? These are all freehold properties. So you outweigh the leasehold, right? So in this situation, for Skye Holland being a leasehold property, will it be a disadvantage for you? That's where you need to really dive in deeper into the research to understand how your purchase is going to affect you in time to come when you want to sell, or even if the surrounding plots, are they going to be, in terms of price point, is there going to be a huge difference in terms of price gap? So these are all very important when you are looking into research, not just talking about, I like this location and I just want to buy. Okay, I think this is very important for us to look into. And with this, averagely, you can see that the prices, just now I shared with you how Skye Holland is going to be. And even for here at One North, we are talking about pricing ranging from about $2,100 to $2,500 per square foot already. And for Blossoms by the Park will be about $2,200 to $2,500 per square foot. So these are the kind of price point you need to use it as a benchmarking. And why am I sharing with you price point? Because today, if you are going into a CCR location and you already have an estimate of what's the average pricing, how will it pan out in the next couple of years? Remember, today when you're buying a property, it's not just buying now, you are also buying into the future. So when we are looking at the future OCR prices, right, based on land prices is a very good indication for us to understand how future prices are going to be like. Okay, this is kind of a mini crystal ball for you when you're kind of monitoring government land sales, who bid it for it, how much is it? Because for Chuan Grove, right, they actually attracted 7 bids at around $1,376 per square foot already. And whereas for the Bayshore plot was $1,388 per square foot. So the question is, for both sites in the OCR, they are already commanding $1,350 above. So today with Skye Holland, can y'all remember what is the land price that Skye Holland was purchased at? Maybe y'all can comment below. And just a few days ago, Sing Holdings and Sunway Development also just bidded another Chuan Grove GLS site at 1,331. So don't be mistaken, this one is the second Chuan Grove site. Also, basically, they command the monopoly if you call 2 plots as a monopoly. Okay, so they actually purchased the first plot at 1,376, and this one they purchased at 1,331. So quite interestingly, that Chuan Park area can command such a high per square foot in terms of the land purchase, and I believe every one of you also have witnessed how Chuan Park overnight become a predominant new benchmark prices for across entire Singapore. So this is also something that later on in the video I'll also be guiding you through to really see the numbers specifically, right? Like which are the projects that is out there and what kind of prices they are commanding at the moment that is being sold, so that you can use that to kind of get an overview of how the entire property market is like in Singapore. And perhaps it's time for you to accept the reality that these are the real prices currently. Okay, so besides this, we also have the Dunyan Road recently also been sold for 1,410 per square foot. Alright, so Dunyan Road, this one is also not near to the MRT. Okay, it's quite a far, I think about 10 minutes walk to the MRT. So there are some certain traits that we do see some of the GLS coming up. They may lack in terms of the advantages, the important traits that property is geared for growth potential. But not to say that Dunyan location nobody will purchase or it's not a good location. I think those who are buying in Dunyan is also largely also for the address, and you're so familiar with the location. So with this Dunyan sites at 1,400 plus per square foot, you will also see that Simlian, they also bid another Holland Link site. Okay, and this is not near the MRT as well. Okay, this is definitely not near the MRT. So with this, they bought at 1,432 per square foot. So you can see that from just a couple of maybe about 8 months before, a lot of the land prices are still hovering about the 1,002 plus range, 1,003 plus range. And every year, will you see that the prices has inched up, maybe even $100 per square foot, $120 per square foot. The question I want to put to every one of you here who is still following me, and if you have not, do subscribe to this channel and watch on the video and like the video, put on the notification bell so that you are able to actually follow through us in terms of property journey, as well as guiding you through how you should be doing for your property journey. All right. So why is this so? Because can you imagine if today you know that the prices keep inching up, maybe about $80 or even $120 per square foot for every single plot of land, what will happen in the next couple of years? All right. Will the land price be reduced suddenly? Okay, so this is food for thought. I want every one of you to also think through. And if you have monitored land prices like we do on a very consistent basis and very regular basis, right, you will realize that there is only something called up and never down before. Okay, in terms of land price. Why? In the fundamental fact, Singapore is only that big. So there's a scarcity of land. And when there's a scarcity of land, how are our prices going to be reversed? Okay, so there are very, very rare unique situations where the prices are reversed. Very rare. There are, those are because of unique situations. And if some of you who like to actually understand why this happens, then maybe you all can comment inside the comment section, right, that you wanted to find out more, and maybe I will do our video to share with every one of you now those unique land plots. Okay, so coming back with the Holland Link units here, so the key thing is that we must always understand whenever we're looking at GLS is also to allow us to cover 4 factors. Okay, 4 factors we're talking about. Let me just go through this with you guys. All right. So with 4 factors, right? The first factor is the land price. Okay, your land price. You need to use it to monitor, and this is a way that you can be very actively looking into it. Whenever there's a news release about this, you are able to kind of pinpoint what is the land price that is being announced in the newspaper. Then the other one that you want to look into is all the expenses. And when we talk about expenses, we're talking about construction costs, maybe marketing costs, labor, and there are all the other submission costs, government tax, everything that you want to kind of use it to calculate, you put it into expenses. And the third thing that you want to look into is for every business, they will always look at what's their profit margin. Okay, so profit margin we have seen as high as 40%. Okay, as high as 40%. But in recent years, because of the construction costs increasing, the question is, do you think that even with the construction costs increasing and they bought a land low, will they still sell the end product to us consumers much lower than before? All right, because why? The expenses increases. All right, and if you want them to lower down their profit, not that they cannot lah, but if you are in business, there's a certain benchmark profit you also want to make, right? So then this will allow us to determine what's a benchmark price. Okay, benchmark price. And we use this benchmark price to kind of match up according to the various surroundings. So basically there are 3 more levels, 1, 2, 3 that we match the benchmark prices to, and that will give us a more clearer indication of how whether the certain projects are being overvalued, maybe when they are sold during the first day is overpriced. And this has everything to do with how we actually study into property and into launches, because launches, there's always this risk of you do not know what the kind of pricing is suitable for you to buy. And with the hype, with you balloting, everything becomes a very emotional purchase. Nothing wrong with it, but we like to kind of benchmark ourselves towards what is the price that is unacceptable, that it could be a little bit too much over. And it has happened multiple times in many launches, and we have seen it happen again and again, unfortunately. So we are here really to kind of see that if, let's say, you are really going into some of all this and you want to be overly prepared, okay, you want to prepare more before you enter so that you don't get jammed when it's there, when the prices is out, and you don't know whether is this fair or not. Is this a fair value? Is this inflated value? You see, so if you really like that, in preparation, you reach out to us. We will be able to do a very in-depth indication to share with you based on our framework. And I think this is something that it helps. But if we come back to Skye Holland, right, you can see that based on the the future prices, Dunyan is about 1,419, and then Holland Link is about 1,432. And there are still many plots around the Turf City area that is already zoned for residential. Of course, the entire Turf City, if you ask me, is going to be a 10 years plan. All right, it's not going to be so immediate that you jump into it and then you are able to reap in the rewards. So sometimes you have to be very careful with purchasing properties where there's huge transformation. Not that huge transformation is no good, but the length of time to position your property in this kind of big transformation, right, will take too long. So can you imagine if you are in your 30s and you need to wait for a 10 years transformation to happen? By the time you are 40s and you can potentially only exit one time, are you losing opportunities in that 10 years? So this is where we work very closely with you, determining based on your investment horizon, your holding period horizon, what's your cycle in terms of your investments going to be. Then we weigh out to see what kind of position you should go for yourself. All right, it's not just about, oh, because this area got transformation and I will just jump into it and wait. Okay, I don't think that's a smart move for new launches. All right, so one of the criteria, or should I say one of the framework that we use is a smart investor framework. All right, how do we guide you through as a smart investor, into buying a new launch as well? All right, because if you see Dunyan is at 1,400 plus, Holland Link is at 1,400 plus, and then you have Skye Holland suddenly pop out 1,200 plus. Wow. Then everybody say, wow, very cheap. Correct now, based on land, based on land. But also I want to share with you all, again, just now, if you based on my 4-step framework, right? When they buy it low at 1,002, does it mean that they have to sell low? Okay. So this is a very unique period, if you ask me, because we are kind of in a transition where things are kind of slightly getting better. So just always understand when things are getting better in the economy, it also feels confident for the developer as well. Okay, so don't always think that, oh, now to me it's better, but to the developer, they are going to be worried. All right, it's, I think from a human perspective on how we react to economy is the same. So if today you feel that you're more confident to enter the property market, you also must understand the developer will also feel that it's more confident for them to do what? To sell better pricing. Okay, so it's a chicken egg situation. Also, please don't fall into this trap. That's why we always share about today you must really study into research, not just about guessing your way into property. And next what I'm going to share with you is based on pricing, very much pricing. So stay true all the way. Okay, so these are all the units, should I say, the properties that recently has been launched or coming up. So you can see from a land price perspective. Okay, these are all land price perspective. And Skye Holland being the biggest unit project, right? 666. The second largest will be Irwell Hill. You know, even Irwell Hill, they bought the land at 1,515. And this is one of the earliest TOP. They just TOP. So this is one of the youngest property that we can use it as comparison as a resale, right? As a resale right now, right? You can see the vast difference about Skye Holland at only $1,285. When you compare to the rest, you're nowhere near there. You're nowhere near there. But again, let us set the expectation right. This is just basing on land cost. That's why we need to research to see the moment when they launch at an X percentage or X price, is it still worth for us to enter into the property market? So yes, they bought from 2000. So these are the land prices from 2020 to 2025. So this gives you a good overview to look at. So this is where we come in. So if we understand the fact when they buy a land low, they won't be selling at high. But let us take a look later on. At least we will try to find some advantages we have as well. So if you talk about One Holland Village, if you see the per square foot, you're talking about almost 32% lower land price. Okay, from $1,800 per square foot to $1,285 per square foot. So now that you say that, if like that, the land price has nothing to do with me. Fair. Okay, because any land price is more of an indication. It's more on how we pen this land price to the surrounding project and to estimate what is the average per square foot that they're going to sell in future. So based on our research, this is an estimate again, okay, that if let's say we pit among all the CCR, okay, if we pit the projects for Skye Holland to all the CCR, we're talking about Skye Holland likelihood, their starting prices for 2-bedroom will be about 1.5 million. And a 3-bedroom should be hovering about 2.4 million, 4-bedroom should be about 3 over million, and then 5-bedroom should be hovering about 4.7 million. It should be around that kind of range. But again, because there are so many different sizes, reach out to us so that we are able to give you a little bit more in-depth study. But why I'm sharing with you this, I just want to kind of give you an overview of what is the other projects performing, how are they panned out in terms of comparison, and these are all transacted. So if you can see that recently our RiverGreen being a harmonized project is already starting their prices from about 1.753. Okay, and their 3-bedroom is about close to 3 million, and then 4-bedroom about 3.46 million. So then we kind of use the recent launches to kind of give us a good indication whether how will Skye Holland pit against them. And you see even of course Upper House, their 3-bedroom has already sold out. But their 2-bedroom starting also for about 2.3 million. Let's not talk about the big ones. Let's just cover the 2 and 3 bedrooms, which I think it will be easier for us to do comparison. So if you're talking about Upper House being about 2.3 million, Robinson Opus averagely is about 2.2, Aurea about 1.7, Union Square 2 million, Collective or One Sophia about 1.8 million, Grange about 2.2, 2.3 million, and these are all like 2 bedrooms. Of course, some of the units, just take note, why you'll be like, huh, they buy 2 million over for 2-bedroom. So this is where if you based just on pricing and then say that, hey, then like that, Skye Holland very cheap. Okay, so there's also a factor you must take note of is the size as well as layout. Okay, of course, facing, floor level, all these do play a part. So this is more on an average prices that I'm sharing with you to give you an indication so that you don't just anyhow jump into it. You need to kind of consider all factors before you make an decision. Okay, it's like Jervois Prime is already 2.15 million. So a lot of all these units from a 2-bedroom perspective, they are also higher. Okay, are bigger in terms of sizes. So you need to kind of use that as a benchmark. So then we look at, let's say today we pit the unit against all the RCR projects. Okay, RCR projects, prominent peak for 2-bedroom is already hovering about 1.8 million, and these are all in RCR. Alright, so RCR in general term should be cheaper, or should I lower price or lower price than a CCR. But in this case, if let's say we're using an estimate about 1.5 million range, of course, the indicative are all the lowest floor. Okay, it really depends on how high you want to go for, but it should be hovering within the 1.5 to even 1.8, 1.9 million, depending on how high we go and the facing, right? So this gives you a good indication that for the 2 bedrooms, averagely, they are also going from 1.8 million to even 2 million. And 3 bedrooms is already crossing the 2.5 million range onwards to even 2.9 million. So this gives you a good indication that today, if a OCR like in Ori, Toa Payoh, and you are getting about 3 million currently, about 3 million, of course, this is extremely high floor. Would it be worth for you to actually consider maybe even Skye Holland? Of course, with 3 million for Skye Holland for 3-bedroom, likely you're not going to get very high floor. But is that going to be a deal breaker for you? You know, what is the purpose of you purchasing a property? That's why you're maybe looking at floor level, you're looking at the facing. So there are different parameters that we guide you to get clearer about how you should be selecting property, not just about, hey, I just want to go for high floor, right? It doesn't mean high floor you can actually fit your criteria or fit your objective. So this is where we will work with you very closely, right? So even for like 8 and BT, this one is a Beauty World area. Their 2-bedroom is already close to 2 million, and their 3-bedroom is about 2.9 million. See, so these are the difference of how you see. And 8 and BT, if you're not familiar, is just besides reserve residences in a kind of odd shape kind of development layout. But those who like those locations, I have realized there is a pattern. Those who stay in Beauty World area, they will just buy back Beauty World area. Okay, whether it's those staying in the landed property or those who are staying in the older developments there, they still prefer to buy back the same location. All right, so this is where it benchmark to give you some insights of how the prices are going to be. Of course, Grand London and B15, all right, being very near to the MRT, you can see that their prices hovering is also about 2 million for a 2-bedroom, as well as 2.6 million for a 3-bedroom. All right, so these are some indications for you. And if RCR is already commanding this kind of prices versus Skye Holland, do we stand a high chance to own a CCR project that is rare? Again, it's still down to balloting. That's why we always want to over-prepare you before we go in. And let's take a look at the OCR. Okay, the OCR, we're talking about Alta. Okay, Clementi, Parktown, Tampines, Chon Park. Okay, let's just take a look at these three first. Their 2-bedrooms are also close to 2 million already. Okay, and right now, based on the availability of units, right now the 3-bedrooms are already starting from 2.5 to 2.6 million, and these are all OCR projects, my friend. So you need to understand the dynamics of prices in different sectors. So when you are going for your balloting, when you are doing your comparison, you know how to benchmark it, and you know what kind of prices you should be entering or exiting. So even for Hill Haven, all the Lentor kind of properties, even Lentorial, they are all definitely above 1.5 million. Or based on current market, these are the available units that today, if you want to buy a 2-bedroom, you need to look into the entire market and fork out at least about 1.8 million. And for 3-bedrooms, they easily already hovering 2.3 to 2.5 million. So is it a rare chance that prices in the different sectors versus Skye Holland are comparable, or maybe Skye Holland seems to be very affordable in terms of price point? It's almost like an undervalued property. Okay, So if I bench it out to some of the units, just to give you a quick overview from a PSF perspective, what are the prices already accepted in those areas? So this gives you kind of a summary. So averagely, if you can see for Beauty World area, people are also already commanding about $2,800 to $2,900 per square foot. Okay, this is what people can accept in the OCR area. Okay, Chong Park as well, already $2,800 to $2,900 per square foot. And Ori at also $2,800 to $2,900 per square foot. Then when you go into the CCR market, then that's a little bit different because a lot of them are already accepting anything close to more than $3,000 per square foot. With Prominent Peak being an RCR, they are also hovering about $2,800 to $3,000 per square foot. So this gives you an indication that today, where is Skye and Holland positioning itself? If people are already paying $2,800 to even $3,000 for OCR and RCR, then technically CCR project should be crossing in this kind of zone, all right, in the CCR zone, all right. So again, this is a benchmark because we do not know the price release yet. We don't want to speculate, but we will use all these prices to indicate and guide us through how are the launch for Skye Holland going to be, and we will do some prep work to give us some benchmark, some limitations, so that we know what's a walkaway price. The last thing that you want things to happen is when you go for a balloting and you don't know what's happening in terms of prices. So any prices being caught, you just want to buy. So be a smart investor, okay? Do some homework, do some prep work beforehand, so that at least you know that if it crosses a certain price point that it just don't make sense, you are ready to walk away. Okay, so this is why I share with you, you shouldn't be chasing new launches. You should be deciding on which launch and which price you should be going for. All right, so I hope that this is also useful for you guys. All right, so using this, then you can give you a quick overview about what's the maximum per square foot that has already achieved in the different regions. Chuan Park, okay, has already achieved $2,900 per square foot. Because this is a non-harmonized, we kind of make it into harmonized so that you can have a better idea. Grand Dunman as well, $3,100 per square foot. Jaded, non-harmonized, with its harmonized, $3,000. One Marina Garden is already crossing $3,003. Lindenwood, non-harmonized, is about $2,800 per square foot. BT at Beauty World, about $3,002. And Orella, non-harmonized, and if it's harmonized, it's $3,900 per square foot. Okay, so most of the units, properties are already sold. And the question is, what if some of all these developments still make sense, okay, for you to actually enter into the property market? So this is where we not only just compare within the launch or even the future launches, we also compare current launches. If based on your objective, you just want to buy new launches for whatever reason, that's where we will calibrate and give you more clarity if new launches is ideal, or should we even look at the current launches that still have available units for you to actually undertake, so that your timeline, your objective can be adjusted. All right, so this is why I mentioned stop chasing new launches. Okay, you should be start deciding new launch, what is the purchase that you want to go for. All right, so using this, of course, this units, why is it I pull out only this specific? It's not we are doing data manipulation. It's not. It's just that because all these developments has very similar traits to Skye Holland, and these are all very near to the MRT. Okay, they're all within MRT distance, very close by. So then it's going to give us a good benchmark indication, all right, for us to do comparison. So just to give you a quick overview, if you understand the prices right now already, then of course, when we are talking about the upcoming OCR prices, and you can see very clearly when I put them side by side, the GLS for Bayshore as well as Chuan Grove, they're all hovering about 1,003 plus per square foot. And the prices for Skye Holland, it should be about 1,200, even though they bought about $1,200 per square foot. We're expecting perhaps from the selling price from 2006 onwards to 2008, okay, per square foot. That should be an estimate. And if we use the upcoming CCR launches, which is Dunyan, as well as Holland Link, right, they should be hovering, should be about $2,800 per square foot as well. Okay, so this is to let you know that today, if you miss any of the current batch of launches, right, you have to start accepting the new price point moving forward from this period. And with the movement of the market, everything going on, we potentially can see that there will be an upswing of demand coming into the marketplace due to different reasons. And I will be also doing up a video on where the demand is going to come in the next couple of months. And the question is today, if you are an investor, you are a homeowner, how should you position yourself to react to the market to benefit as much as possible? All right, so I also want to give you guys kind of a quick overview. Let's say today you really need certain help on guiding you through the entire new launch purchase flow, and this is your first time perhaps, or you have went through not so good experiences and you want somebody to really handhold you to prepare ahead, okay, with whichever that you're going for. Then I want to just share with you the very first thing that we always do is to always firm up your financial plan to make sure affordability and what's your objective of this property is going to be. Then we will guide you through, let's say you're talking about Skye at Holland, then we will of course arrange the show flat preview for you so that you have a day to really understand what this project is. But whether this project suits you or not, then that is where we will go in our one-on-one consult to kind of guide you through the process of are there other alternatives, are there better ones that you should go for. And if let's say Skye at Holland is still something that you want to go and try for, then we will register the interest and then we will go for e-balloting before the physical booking. The dates here are all estimates, all right? So only our clients who have actually wanting to actually move forward with us, they will get the latest updates and our concierge will actually guide them through on what they need to do. I also want to kind of share with every single one of you here, whether you're going for a current launch or a new launches, whether you're going for the available of units. These are the 4 things that you must really kind of look into very carefully so that you know how you should select a property. And at the end of the day, to know your walkaway price, how do you actually not even purchase if the prices has been inflated too much? You know, what are the indicators that you should have to benchmark yourself? So that's why when we are looking into doing pre-preparation, we actually spend a lot of time. And the preparation period is a flow that we will guide you through from a pre-balloting to even ballot day. We will be hand-holding you all the way, giving you enough research and numbers and data to support your decision making. Right here, we cannot make decision for you, but any information, any lack of understanding, that's where we come in to help you to become the anchor to work with you together so that you can actually have a very smooth journey as you are purchasing a property, and eventually your property is geared up for a good sale and a speedy sale at the same time. All right. So if let's say today you are still also kind of exploring some of all these developments and you do not know which one you should be going for, just reach out. Scan the QR code and reach out so that we can kind of, work with you hand in hand. All right. Partner with you to kind of give you more clarity about the direction you can go in for. Perhaps at the end of the day, after the assessment, seeking the second opinion, you realize actually this may not be the best for your family based on whatever reason. Then at least you are actually saving yourself the time to actually go through all this hassle, then realizing that it's not meant to be. And for those of you who are already eagerly, I really want Skye at Holland, example now, I really want Skye at Holland, I really want to go for it. Just also take note, this is a balloting, which means it's a 50-50 chance that you can get or you cannot get. And when you can get, what are the parameters you should be exploring? What are the key things that you should take note of? And for those of you who have missed the ballot, your number is not good, you are unable to purchase a price, are you going to continue chase the next new launch after new launch after new launch? Or do you want to switch yourself to decide which is the property that you should be going for so that you can start your property journey as soon as possible? All right, so I really enjoyed this session and I hope that you too at the same time. So if you have actually liked this video and you have learned certain things throughout this video, just give me a thumbs up as well as a like this video, because this will help us a lot and we will also give us some motivation to really continue to do more videos like you, to empower you as a homeowner, as an investor, to know what is the direction you should be going for, because property changes every single day and your knowledge and your confidence should also improve at the same time to stay current and relevant in the marketplace. Well, this is Coach Edmund. See you guys. Cheers.